The veterinarian looked at the kitten in Marcus Webb's hands and said, in the careful tone of someone delivering information they would prefer not to deliver, that he was not optimistic. The kitten was approximately 3 weeks old. He weighed less than 4 ounces. He had been found alone on a sidewalk in downtown Portland at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday night, no mother in sight, no litter, no shelter of any kind. Marcus had heard him before he saw him, a sound so small it barely registered as sound, more like a frequency than a noise, coming from behind a dumpster near the parking garage where Marcus had left his car. He almost kept walking. He had places to be. He was not a cat person. He had never owned a cat, had no particular opinion about cats, and had certainly never crouched behind a dumpster on a Tuesday night to investigate a noise that might have been nothing. He crouched anyway. The kitten fit in his palm. Orange tabby, eyes barely open, shaking in a way that was more alarming than any sound he was making. Marcus held him against his jacket for warmth and stood there for a moment doing the mental calculation of a person who has found something that needs help and is trying to determine what the correct response is. He could think of several reasons to walk away. None of them felt sufficient. He drove to the emergency vet. The vet said the kitten was severely hypothermic and dehydrated. She said kittens this young without their mothers have very low survival rates. She said Marcus could leave him there, or he could take him home and attempt round-the-clock feeding, but she wanted him to understand what that involved and what the realistic outcome might be. Marcus asked what round-the-clock feeding meant exactly. Every 2 hours, she said, day and night, with a bottle and kitten milk replacer warmed to body temperature. He would also need to be kept warm, stimulated after each feeding, and monitored closely for signs of fading, the term used when kittens that appear stable begin to decline without warning. She described it the way people describe things that are genuinely difficult, without softening the edges. Marcus said he understood. He wasn't entirely sure he did, but he took the supplies, the instruction sheet, the vet's cell number, and a reasonable amount of uncertainty, and he drove home. This channel exists for exactly this kind of story. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the moment. Hit the button. What happened over the next 72 hours is the reason we do this. The first night was the hardest. Marcus set an alarm for every 2 hours, which meant he slept in the intervals between feedings in the way that parents of newborns describe sleeping. Not restfully, but in the particular shallow way of someone whose attention is never fully off. The kitten, whose name Marcus had not yet decided on, took the bottle slowly at first, and then with increasing urgency that Marcus found encouraging in a way he hadn't expected to find anything about this situation encouraging. By the second morning, the shaking had stopped. By the third morning, the kitten was pushing against the bottle with his front paws in the focused, insistent way of something that has decided it intends to stay and is making that position absolutely clear. Marcus named him Hatch, as in hatched, as in arrived from somewhere else into a world he had no business surviving, and had survived anyway. The 72 hours stretched into a week, then 2, then a month. Marcus continued the feedings as Hatch grew, less frequent as the weeks passed, but the routine remained. He bought a small bed, then a larger one when Hatch outgrew it in a time frame that surprised him. He bought toys and discovered that Hatch had strong opinions about which ones were acceptable and which were beneath him. He learned that Hatch preferred to sleep on his chest rather than in the bed, and attempting to move him once he was settled was an exercise that consistently ended in Marcus's favor approximately 0% of the time. He told his sister about it on a video call in week 3. He described it in the practical terms he used for most things: the feeding schedule, the weight gain, the vet appointments. His sister listened for a while and then asked how he was doing with it, personally. He said he was fine. She said she didn't mean the logistics. He didn't answer that question directly. He said Hatch was doing well and changed the subject. There is a particular thing that happens when you keep something alive through the effort of sustained, uninterrupted attention across days and nights. It is not the same as loving something from a distance. It is not the same as caring abstractly. It is something more immediate and harder to name, A connection built not from sentiment, but from the specific, concrete weight of waking up every 2 hours to feed something that is still alive because you did. Marcus had not planned for that. He had planned to help a kitten that might not make it, and then, if it made it, find it a good home. He did not find it a home. Orange cats have a specific reputation that their owners will defend, and non-owners will find difficult to understand until they meet one. They are described, almost universally, as peculiarly personable, more dog-like in their social engagement than is typical of cats, more likely to follow you from room to room, more likely to announce themselves, to seek contact, to operate on the assumption that your attention is available and that they are entirely entitled to it. Hatch was, within this framework, entirely typical. He followed Marcus through the apartment with the purposeful consistency of someone who has decided on a schedule and intends to keep it. He greeted him at the door every evening with the energy of something that has been waiting and is not going to pretend otherwise. He installed himself in whatever room Marcus occupied and communicated his preferences about food, attention, and the acceptable number of consecutive work hours through a system of sounds and positions that Marcus had learned to read with a fluency he hadn't expected to develop. The man who almost kept walking had become, without particularly deciding to, a cat person. Specifically, the cat person of a cat that had arrived weighing less than 4 ounces and had spent the intervening months making himself impossible to imagine the apartment without. Hatch is 8 months old now. He weighs 9 pounds, which Marcus's veterinarian calls extraordinary given where he started, and Marcus calls simply accurate. He still sleeps on Marcus's chest most nights. He still greets him at the door. He still has strong opinions about work schedules and communicates them clearly and without apology. The vet who treated him on that first night sent a message when Marcus sent her a photo at the 6-month mark. She said she was glad he had made it. She said not many do. Marcus looked at Hatch when he read that, sitting in the particular square of afternoon light he had identified as optimal, occupying it with the focused satisfaction of something that has found its correct position in the world and intends to stay there. He wrote back, "Neither did I, honestly." What's a moment that changed more than you expected when it started? Tell me in the comments. If any part of her story felt familiar, if you've ever fallen for the one everybody else kept passing by, leave a comment and tell me about them. I would genuinely love to hear it.